Hey, this is Ryan from another goddamn horror podcast coming to you from Portland,
And
Oregon.
Graham.
And Graham, what's up, Graham? Jonas, how's it
I'm here
going?
too. I'm here
You're,
too.
you're here too. We just wanted to give you a little information that we have cool stuff that isn't just our amazing podcast.
We have
We
so much more cool stuff.
we have so much more cool stuff. We have a Patreon. Have you guys checked out the
Army of the
Patreon?
Goddamn.
Army of the
Dude.
Goddamn. Do you want to
Dude,
be
we sold out, man. We have the Patreon.
We have a Patreon. We, we're apparently just capitalists at our heart. And so I want you to go over to Patreon, check it out. It's AGHP, as in another goddamn horror podcast, AGHP 666, number of the beast at Patreon. So AGHP 666, number of the beast at Patreon.
We also have the Gore Store over at teespring.com with featured products such as the Tri-Skull Destroyer sweatshirt, some classic AGHP logos, some sweatpants, and a pillow.
Can you wear those sweatpants on the subway in New York? Is that cool? Is that
It is now legal to wear these sweatpants in New York subways.
I need to have one of my friends that can fill out the sweatpants better, wear the sweatpants, and do them and do them proud, because I wouldn't be able
Sweatpants
to.
and nunchucks are now allowed in New York.
Listen,
Sweet.
you have to have a nunchuck license in New York to carry nunchucks, and I'm really pissed off that I don't have a nunchuck license. I knew that you had to have one, and now I don't have that, and you've reminded me, and it angers me that I do not have one of those things. I will tell you what I do have, though. I have the link to our link tree, which
Really?
is where all of our shit is at. So if you didn't get those other two, you can go to linktr. So that's linktr.ee/AGHP666. And you can find all of our stuff, all of our old episodes. You can find our Patreon link. You can find our Teespring link. You can find all sorts of cool shit. And that one, again, Linktree does the weird ones. linktr.ee/AGHP666.
And we appreciate everybody for checking us out. Get ready for the episode. Start some fires and break some glass, will you?
From the darkest corners of the podcast dungeon, you have come across another goddamn horror podcast with Graham Faye, Jonas Barnes, and Ryan Danley.
Welcome, everybody. I'm gonna start singing
Sing the intro, yeah.
sing the intro every time. I got vocal chops. I've sang for a bunch of bands. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that? I was cool.
Yeah, I did.
That used to be cool. Yeah, we opened for my old band opened for Dystopia. Welcome to
You were doing the hardcore thing.
Yeah, it was a grindcore band I was in. I've been in 2 grindcore bands. Not even like a grindcore dude, but I was in the grindcore band. I had good grindcore vocals. The people enjoyed my grindcore vocals. Hey Jonas, where are you at?
So I'm actually so I'm right next to Union Square in New York City right now, and I actually went to a quieter place because where I was at before was terrible, and it's still not quiet, but it's way better.
Can you tell New York City to shut up for like
chill out for an hour?
Just like everybody just sit down and shut up for a minute and quit talking about the pizza and this block is better than the pizza in this block and other New York shit. All right.
Dude, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've tried to do that, and I got told to go fuck myself in 8 different languages because New York is a melting pot. So
It is.
It is. Graham, how's Flatbush?
It's good. I actually went over this this week to where Jonas lives.
Oh, really?
I met his cat, Avery. Fucking amazing. Then I went to his show, The Comedy Hour, and saw Gastor Almonte's The Sugar, and it's fucking amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. So thank you, Jonas, for having me out there.
Yeah, and I saw Jonas last week too. So we've all seen Jonas. That's fucking weird.
Going to see Jonas. It was weird.
We all saw each other on different coasts of the United States. All in the span of like 2 weeks.
Totally. Awesome. Weather's been nice here. How's the weather there?
It's gross. It's hot and sweaty.
Gross. Cool.
It's disgusting. We haven't gotten out of our heat wave. It still feels like ball sweat outside all the time. So
sweet. Anyways, we're gonna move right along. We have an awesome guest, an amazing guest. Coming, musician
from Michigan, dude. From Michigan right now.
From Michigan. Yeah, we're covering the country this time. We have Raven from Raven Black. How's it going?
Hi guys.
How's it?
I am originally from LA, just so you know. So
okay.
I know.
Okay,
don't bring up the whole LA New York rivalry because it don't count. Everybody in LA thinks I'm from New York, so.
That's interesting. Yeah, like
you feel much more New York than Middle America or LA.
But guess why they thought I was from New York? Everybody in LA, and I grew up there, so like born and raised. So why did everybody in LA think I was from New York? What do you think was the determining factor whether they would ask me that question? Are you from New York?
Was it the F word?
What do you think happened? Pretty much. Get the fuck out of my way. You know, like excuse, you know, I was like, excuse me, can you get out of my way so I can like reach for that? People are just, I'll have to say, people in LA, they're just very, very, what I call it, tunnel vision. You know what I mean? Tunnel vision.
Yeah, we know what you mean. I mean,
at least New Yorkers do it on purpose. You know what I mean? There's a difference. They're not just oblivious and stupid. They're not ignorant and stupid. They actually do it on purpose, with a purpose. Like, get the fuck out of my way. Leave me the fuck alone. I got to go somewhere. So there's a difference.
This sidewalk's only so big. I got to keep my head down to get past you.
Yeah. But people get it in New York. Everybody gets it.
Yeah.
And everybody does the same thing. So there's a nice flow to it. But yeah.
I had a homeless guy in Los Angeles tell me to enjoy the sunshine after I told him I couldn't give him money. And I was like, dude, that's fucked up. Now I want to take you to an ATM and give you money. That was too nice. Why'd you do that?
Yeah, believe it or not, the homeless people are actually really nice, decent people. They just have it shitty, you know.
For sure.
I've asked a few homeless people, how did you get here? Like, I've literally sat down and had conversations with a few.
I work in grocery stores, so I end up, I will tell you, what I've learned in my time is homeless people aren't the problem. Houseless people aren't the problem. It's I like using the term houseless now. That's kind of the more like I've been kind of into it. The argument from the houseless community was wherever I go, I can make a home.
Correct.
But I do not own a house, and so I appreciated that angle.
I do appreciate that.
It was one of those like good moments of like, oh yeah, that makes complete sense. And it's like, the thing about like all the houseless people I met, and it sounds like so cliche and so weird, is that it's just such a spectrum. They're just human beings that have this thing in common, and and they all have, there's different solutions. When everybody's like, okay, here's the cure for houselessness, and you're like, well, like, I mean, it's more complicated. Like, why are they just gonna get jobs? It's like, you've clearly never hired somebody because like the idea that we can all just simply just go get jobs is just like this ludicrous theory that these people have created in their heads. And yeah, we want to, us here at Another Goddamn Horror Podcast, big supporters of houseless community. Let's figure out something, because it's a manufactured invention.
I've been a supporter of houseless people since I was born. I was literally born houseless in Portland, Oregon, and like from then on, I'm like, I fucking feel it, dude. I feel you guys. I was houseless, I think 3 times so far in my life. Each time, not fun. I'm going to be honest. Each time, totally shitty. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, and you know what? Even people like us with jobs and shit, and we face houselessness daily. You can lose your job instant, and you're out. You know, nobody cares that you lost your job or you're waiting for unemployment or whatever the fucking reason. We've all been through it to some degree. So yeah, you know, I could be houseless next year. Who knows? You know.
Yeah, exactly. And for it's such a quick shot to it too. And then immediately you become the person that's like, no, I was doing everything right. And everybody's like, go fuck yourself. Because we've been taught well in this country. So this is great. I could talk about this all day. We could be another goddamn
downer.
Another goddamn let's fix this country podcast.
No, dude, come on, Ryan. It was right there. The letters are there. It's another goddamn houseless podcast.
Exactly.
We'll do that another day. Let's go.
Right, it'll be a different episode.
So I am all of us are big, huge fans of your music project. Why don't you, for the uninitiated, why don't give it an explanation? Like, because I don't want to describe it.
How do I explain myself?
Yeah, well, the whole thing is if I try to explain it, every time I try to explain a musician's band while they're in the room, they're like, well, that's not really what, you know what I mean? Like, everybody
it's kind of true. He's been called out almost every time.
I'll be like, well, this is, I feel like.
Can you do me a favor? Because you guys are from the comedy scene and because you guys are all fans, I want to know what your take of my music. I just want to hear it because I get a kick out of it. I don't get like, oh, no, that's not what we're about. I get more like, that's your perspective, and that's fucking cool.
Well, I'm a genre nerd, so go for it, Jonas. Go for it.
I was gonna say when I've explained your visual look to people and how you look on stage, I've said that you're kind of like a mix of Alexa Bliss from WWE mixed with Harley Quinn from Hell, and it's like you've got this cool look to it. The costumes and everything have that cool look to it. But musically, I've always, from what I've heard from you, it's not one genre. Like, you've got a little pop punk, you got a little metal, you got a little, there's a little hardcore in there, there's a little electronic in there, kind of in the best way possible, all over the spectrum of rock, which I dig the hell out of. But yeah, the Alexa Bliss Harley Quinn thing from Hell is kind of the visual thing that I've always gotten from you.
Cool.
If I had to simplify it down to just one genre, and I guess circus metal. I'm sure you've heard that before, but I don't think that. But
we've narrowed it down to carnival metal.
Yeah.
I think it's I'm weird about genres. You can ask Graham. Graham and I argue about this all the time.
It's fun.
So I would say that you are. I would say almost more industrial influenced because of the fun. Because I call industrial disco metal. So I think because it is disco metal. I mean, it's just disco. I mean, that's what it is. Because I think that you have enough I think that the creepy factor, I think it would lend people to say that you have a Marilyn Manson influence, but I actually disagree with that. I would say that you more have almost a more Ministry sort of vibe because it's a darker gothy sort of imagery based. It's you have the image and then you have the industrial, but it's also fun and it's fast and it's also good party music. So that's why I give it the industrial tag as opposed to just being metal, which I wouldn't describe metal as party music. So I mean, depending on the party, you know what I mean.
You need to go to better parties.
No. Party music isn't just for a party that you go to with a bunch of metalheads who are play the metal. Party music has to be like licensed,
municipal waste.
like License to Ill is like the ultimate party record, right? Like you don't have to be a rap fan to like it. You don't have to be anything, but like you show up at a party and people are playing License to Ill and like everybody kind of likes it, right?
Fucking knows it,
Right. So like that's what the party like. Yes, if you're hanging out with your like metalhead bros and you all are sitting around doing metalhead shit, like I don't know what metalheads do, but like
what's metalhead shit, right?
right, like you're gonna, of course, like if you throw on the power trip or whatever, everybody's gonna be excited, right? But if you go to just like a party and then you throw on like some License to Ill or you throw on some Raven Black, everybody's gonna be having a good time and say, okay, this is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, I will say that like if you put like License to Ill, Raven Black, Andrew WK, like those are like three styles that if those are playing in a room, everybody's gonna fucking party, which I fully agree.
Exactly.
Everyone's gonna have fun. Yeah.
But Municipal Waste, you gotta like that shit is straight up party metal.
It is
for metalheads.
I haven't heard it. You gotta send me that.
It's just basically just like it's just metal about drinking and partying. Like it's Andrew WK, but speed metal.
Yeah.
Right.
Very cool.
Anyways,
Ryan hates the fact that he likes metal, and he refuses to call it. Yo, Anthrax's "I'm the Man" is party metal.
Yes, Anthrax is "I'm the Man" is because it's a fake hip hop song. But it's
fucking dick, man. It's dick.
I mean, it is. It is. It is. It's a fake hip hop song, which is rad. I have nothing against it, but it's just them trying to do hip hop, which is.
But it's a party metal. They're a party metal band.
So that's
what metal songs you can switch it to a different genre. I mean, the beats are there.
Sure, for sure. I'm just saying, if I went to a party and everybody was sitting around listening,
someone put metal on.
If I went to a party and everybody sitting around and listening to death, I think I'm probably going to be like, okay, this is like this kind of party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I think there's more of like a general. I think even Municipal Waste, which is like fun thrash music, sure, but I'm also like a heavy music fan. But like, you wouldn't throw that out in like a mixed party. That's just sort of
Okay, so real quick, before we start stabbing each other over genres, I have a question. I want to throw this out there because there's something that we all I think we all missed when we were talking about this because it links directly to who you are, Raven. You're kind of comic book metal. Like your band is kind of like a live comic book, which is awesome.
The music is the soundtrack.
Right.
Exactly.
Which is
so
tough.
All three of you were correct in all of the above in your perspectives of what we are. So you know, and Jonas, you kind of nailed it right there. So when I decided to leave my adulting life at the age of 40, I decided, okay, shit. Well, okay, what am I gonna do different for the second half of my life, right? And I was like, man, I never did what I love, which is the dream, of creating music and art and doing that whole creative thing side of myself, because let's fucking be real. Creative people are fucking poor, right? We're not quite houseless yet, but we're pretty fucking poor.
Right.
So, we don't know when the next paycheck's coming, or if we do get a day job, we all do. We've come and gone with different day jobs to pay the bills. But at the end of the day, the creative career is not a fucking guaranteed paycheck. Okay. So when I decided to do that, I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? I'm 40 years old. What am I going to do? And I had friends that are, in the music business, and they're like, well, you got a great voice. Why don't you just do pop, and you dance and all this shit. And I'm like, because of the lyrics that I've been writing for all these years in these notebooks, they're kind of fucking dark, they're kind of fucking real shit, like that I've been through. And I want to help people, and I don't care about becoming a rock star or whatever. I just want to do music. And this is what I want to do for a living. I need to make a living out of this. So it was like, well, the problem is you got a range. I mean, you can sing rock, you can sing pop, you can rap, you can do all these things. And I love hip hop, just so you guys know. I come from LA. So it's like the dance part of myself grew up with, 80s, 90s hip hop. And I did it professionally. So like that, that was a big deal in the 80s and 90s music videos, right? Yeah. So it's like all these influences. I'm like, well, shit. But honestly, when it comes down, I have to pick what am I going to go with? I said, well, let's stick to the lyrics, you know, how I'm going to vocalize these lyrics. And I was like, man, I can't imagine pop will ever deliver these lyrics and this message that I have of shit I've been through and how I overcame it to help people. Pop's just not cutting it. You know, it's just not cutting it. And then I go, okay, well, hip hop, yeah, I can rap stuff, but then that's more dance related and like, and it's fun, but it really, again, doesn't really capture that essence of my lyrics. And then rock, and well, yeah, rock and metal. I'm like, okay, that's where I need to go. And of course, I joined a couple of rock bands and stuff, and we're singing rock music, and I was singing, and it was great and fun. But I was like, no, my shit's a little darker than that. You know, I've been through some shit. So I was like, okay, I think I need to lean to the heavier side. So we ended up doing heavy hard rock, you know, and if you listen to Raven Black Project, it's a little bit heavy hard rock. And I was like, it's still not fucking satisfying my dark, you know, essence here. So once I decided, and it was funny because Muppet and I got married, and he was playing in a freaking punk band. So that explains your pop punk right there, a little bit of that. Sure. I changed it to pop punk. He's punk, but
which punk band was he in?
White Flag Down.
I don't know.
It's an LA band. It's like, you know, stems from like original British punk, like, you know, just kind of underground punk, and a little bit political, you know, like the British punk. But that, so I was going to his shows, he was going to my shows, and we're like, okay, first of all, we're fucking both metalheads, and so why are you playing punk and why am I fucking in a rock band? Like, this doesn't fucking make sense, you know? Why aren't we playing metal? Both of us love fucking metal, and we both want to go there. So we started our band. And again, just growing pains and shit, but we finally figured it out. And then I played a show like this. Somebody dropped out of a show at the last minute, the Whiskey. I knew the freaking booking agent there, Becky. And she was like, hey, you'll just be the local. Anybody cancels, I'm just going to call you up. Can you be here in like 20, 30 minutes? I said, fuck yeah. So that's what happened. And it just so happened that Ulrich Wilde was there to see it. And I think the headliner on tour was either Head PE or fucking one of those guys. One of those, yeah. So Ulrich was there, and I didn't know, you know, but funny what you said, going back to you about Ministry. So Aaron Rossi, the original, you know, the drummer for Ministry, was my manager.
Oh, wow.
Wow,
so,
cool. and no influence from him, but funny that you mentioned that. So Aaron was like, yeah, I'll be there. You're going to play the show. I'm going to introduce you to the Head PE guys, and maybe some other people will be there, whatever. So we played our set, and I come back upstairs after the set, and this, you know, Ulrich Wilde was there, and he hands me a card, and he goes, have your manager contact me, but we got to do something with that voice. That's what he said to me. And I was like, and then I looked at and then he walked away. It was like super quick like that. And then I looked at the card. It was just a white business card with his name and a fucking phone number and email. And I was like, that's some serious shit, right? When it's that fucking simple. I'm like, it's like Superman on the fucking card, right? That's it. There's no fucking number. So I was like, and I knew the name, you know, it looked familiar to me, but I didn't quite know. So I ran over to Aaron, and I'm like, Aaron, and I like shoot it to him, and I go, you know, by the green room, and I go, this is a big name person, right? And then Aaron looks at it and goes, huge. And he takes it, and I go, he said huge. Fuck, right? So actually,
I feel like real quick, Raven, was there like a little point when you looked at the card where you might have like shit your pants a little bit, where you thought it said Lars Ulrich? Where you were just like, oh no, it's him.
I didn't. It was too fucking dark. It was fucking dark as fuck. But no, I didn't. But yeah, that would have been cool actually. But yeah, but I mean, I just was like, this looks familiar. And it's now that, I mean, obviously after I looked him up and shit, it was like fucking his discography is insane, you know? So then I was like, holy shit. Oh my God. He said something about my voice. He said something about my fucking voice. So of course I was running around excited. So that week I spoke to him, and, you know, he was very, just like, yeah, you know, you're quite not ready yet, your band. You probably need to get a new guitarist, a new bass player. Drummer seems like he's sound, but we need to hone in on your sound. and just keep writing, and we'll keep in touch. And so I was like, fuck, okay, yeah, we suck, we fucking suck. We need to get our shit together. So then a couple conversations later, I told him about, well, I had this concept that I haven't done yet, and it's this whole carnival scene, and I'm basically taking all my fucking favorite things, horror movies, fucking, theatrical shit, comics, superheroes, fucking Nightmare Before, all the things I fucking love. And I go, and I just picture myself doing this. And he goes, I love that idea. You need to do it. And I was like, okay, any guidance? And he's like, just, try to listen to that in your head. Like when you're going through your lyrics, like, what would that sound like? What do you picture on that story? Like a soundtrack. And I go, okay. So and we ended up,
That's
writing
really cool.
200 fucking songs, and 7 of them made it to the album. So, Seven Sins was born. So, and then the makeup and costume.
That's like a really like serendipity. Like it's like, I gotta say, you're pretty lucky to like want it, decide to do it, and go out there and make it happen. So good work. You know what I mean? Like it's there's a lot of people who are sitting there wanting it, and you went out and made it happen. So
and to continue to look when you get to a spot and not be satisfied, that's pretty great too.
Yeah.
Keep pushing.
And also,
Smart,
like the fact that you were the band that they were going to call at the Whiskey if somebody dropped out is also like a huge notch on the belt, because the Whiskey it's the Whiskey a Go-Go, for fuck's sake. So if you guys are like, so like if you guys are the band where the booker is like, yo, if somebody's not here, I want Raven here. Like that's big. Like that's awesome.
Yeah,
so
that's
congratulations to you guys on even just that early on. Like that's
Becky was cool, but it was about being reliable, because they did a lot of pay to play for like the early slots, and these local bands were just flaking out. And so she was like, fuck, I've got a tour coming in and I have no fucking local band. And she was like, she just knew I was reliable. Like I can get my shit together in 15 fucking minutes and head down, and just play the show. And I didn't care about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I wasn't fucking demanding of like, well, are we going to get this or that or a green room, or like, I was like, dude, I just fucking love playing the show. I don't care what time it is.
Right.
I just want to get on stage and fucking do what I do, what I love to do. So that's why I got that particular, setup with her. And I don't know if she's still there, but I mean, we did the Sunset Strip for fucking 3 years, every single venue there, Roxy, Troubadour, just because I got to know a lot of the people that were involved in booking, Viper, all of those places. So we played all of them. Yeah, we almost played House of Blues before it shut down, and I was like, man, we should have done that show because we were busy. No, but I didn't know. Had I known that they were going to close it down, we would have played that show.
Sure.
But we were like, dude, how the fuck are we going to do, at House of Blues? I mean, it's so commercial, mainstream of an audience. Like, we're fucking weird. They're going to look at us and boo us. Like, we're like, but I don't remember what I had. Either it was like a birthday party for my family or something important. So I was like, no. We'll just do it. We'll do it another time, And then they closed it down. And I was like, fuck. That's the only one I don't have on my list.
Yeah, but like they being like a little like different, and like for House of Blues, like you're in LA, if like LA, like if anybody's like, if tourists are in town and they come into a place and they see what you all have going on, they're gonna be like, okay, this is what's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
but
it's
check
like
this out. So House of Blues, that was the one thing that was like, oh my God, I missed out, right? But we've played every single House of Blues in every other state on all the big tours. So, I've been redeemed, right? But still, the Hollywood House of Blues, I didn't ever get to freaking set my foot on that stage. So, yeah.
I actually, so I really quick, I have also an LA story that is kind of like the one that got away, because I do live concert photography. And there was this really serendipitous moment where I was like 5 minutes away from the chance to do photos for Joan Jett and the Blackhearts at the Hollywood Bowl.
Ooh.
And then, dude, like right before it got snatched out of my hands, just because there was a big press rush that happened, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
It was just like one of those ones where it was just like, oh man, that's like a bucket list show right there. Yeah.
Yep. But watch, you'll get to shoot Joan Jett at one point in your life because you're
Listen,
going to keep working.
You come to New York and I'm going to shoot Raven Black. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, hell yeah. It's amazing because like it's been like 9 years of just doing music and being in the scene, but I would shy away from cameras in the beginning. Like you have to capture me candidly. There's no way I would ever look in the camera because I'm very camera shy. And but now 9 years later, like if I know you, Jonas, because like now we've talked and we're connected now. Like if I see you at a show, I'll like completely freaking, photobomb you, like completely just.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
I'll be like, I'll
be
point at your camera. I'll be like, Jonas, like while I'm performing, So I've grown a lot in that way, but it's one of those things, and I'm not one of those artists that says, oh, you have to let me check all the pictures first. I'm just like, dude, that's your art, that's your thing, and I support your own perspective. So as an artist, I don't think anybody can tell you what to do. You know what I mean? That's you own that. So
you are rapidly becoming one of my absolute favorite people. Just so we're clear on this.
But people really don't. Not a lot of people know who I am as a person, and you see me on stage and videos and stuff like that, but I'm just like a freaking weird free spirit, man. Like I just like the whole reject thing, my fan club, like it literally is like that whole, irony of why are we called the rejects? Because we don't reject people. Like I don't reject people unless they're like fucked up. You know what I mean? That's different. But like if just because you're different or weird or freaking socially awkward or you fucking have, weird facial fucking features, or it doesn't matter to me. You're a human being and I accept you for exactly who you are. Now if you're about to fucking hurt me or hurt somebody I care about, then fuck you. I'm vicious. I'm a bitch. Like that's the thing is people are like, you're so sweet, you're so, and I'm like, yeah, but remember there's like
there's
this has
two
been
sides.
here the whole time. I go, just put it the way you're lucky that you only know the sweet side, because the mean side, I mean, it rarely comes out unless it has to, usually out of protection. And I'm fucking a bitch. Like I can be a fucking cunt. I can be a fucking serious cunt. So don't get me wrong. Not sweetness and what they say, your kindness misinterpreted as weakness. Yeah, I'm not. Fucking, I'm not weak, and metalheads aren't weak. We're not fucking that. We'll say what we need to fucking say. So, again, this is probably why in LA they thought I was from New York, because. And believe it or not, a lot of my best friends are from the East Coast. So, and up, Northeast Coast. So and Northern California. I lived there for 4 years in Marin. So, that's closer to your area.
Yep. I do comedy in Eureka all the time. It's I love Northern California. It's its own little place. It's people are like,
so
oh, Cal.
You guys do dark comedy. I'm assuming. Is it dark comedy? I'm assuming the two of you do dark comedy.
Am I a dark comic, Jonas?
You definitely have your dark side.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I feel like I'm darker than you are for sure, but you definitely do have your dark stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, I say my punchlines are all kind of dark.
You're gonna have to send me some reels or some YouTube.
Okay.
Jonas's show is called the Comedy Hour, and Ryan's Stool Humping.
Stool humping, yeah.
So Jonas's is a little darker, maybe at first glance.
but mine is also like mocking. Like I'm a satire guy. Like I kind of like Jonas might talk about darker subjects than I, but like mine is all through like the vision. Like I write for the hard times and stuff like that too. Like I'm all through the vision of this is all stupid. I have that Gen X as you do, like a cynicism filter. You know what I mean? Like everything.
Cynicism's so fun.
It is. I mean, it's the guiding force of my life. And it's really created like every endeavor that I've ever done. It's really beautiful. And us Gen X people are fucking fantastic at it. We excel. If there's one thing we ever excelled at,
I think it was taught.
Yeah, I think if there's anything we ever excelled at, though, it's cynicism.
Yeah.
And not like I mean, like it's no joke that when Gen X came time to have their pop music, it was like Seattle grunge and like you know what I mean, like which is like a mock. The funny thing about the grunge scene is it's satire in and of itself. Like half those bands were like, this is us just being funny, heavy music. You know, we're now kind of like mocking like the heavy music that was before us, and then it became like a thing, you know. So it's yeah, we're really good about that. I have a whole stand-up in it, actually.
You kind of can't blame Gen X because we're the fucking middle. You
No,
know, we're fucking stuck in the middle of like baby boomers who had their like everything was fucking blissful, you know, like the fucking America is like the, you know, the American dream, buy a house, have 2 dogs and kids and a pool, you know, or whatever, right? Everybody was groomed to go to college and get a fucking 4-year education and a degree. And you were either going to be a fucking doctor or lawyer or fucking something, right?
Right.
Or a teacher or something, or a policeman. Like that was a big deal.
Or if you weren't those things, you were just a fucking loser. And I could talk.
Those were standards.
I could talk. Yeah, well, they were fucking with me when I was getting bad grades in like elementary school. They're like, "You're not going to be able to get into a good college," and you're like, "You know,
I was going to be a hooker if I didn't get straight A's. My mom, I swear to God, my mom, Vietnamese little Asian lady, you know, because she's from Vietnam. Like she was educated, you know, she was like, if you don't get an education and get straight A's, you're a female in America. You're going to be a hooker. That's all you're going to do. You're only going to have your pussy to sell. And I'm like, you know, and I'm like, well, I got straight A's, moms. What are you fucking saying to me? And she's like, well, you better keep it up. You know, like if you know, because it's hard. This is America. You got to have straight A's to get to college. And if you don't go to college, you're going to be a hooker. And I was just like,
it's the only choices.
It was never prostitute. It was hooker. You were a hooker. I'm going to be a hooker.
Here's the thing, Raven. What Graham said about my show that I do, it's called the Traumedy Hour, and we also do a companion podcast to it, which based off just this little chunk of our conversation, I'm absolutely getting you on that fucking show.
Oh hell yeah!
But like the stuff that I joke about is my life, like from literally beginning to end, and like I have a joke about my dad trying to sell me for heroin when I was a baby. My stuff goes like super dark. So
that's awesome. I'd be happy to join that. But see, like, so we're talking about Gen X. So here we are in the middle, and then it was us, and we still had all those fucking values taught to us, embedded into our brains and into our making, right, of everything we've known. And then the generation after us was like, yeah, fuck college. We're gonna fucking do reality TV, and we're just gonna fucking we're gonna become millionaires overnight for doing fucking nothing, you know, just being cool, right? And then nerds became cool, you know, and I was like, fucking, I knew it. The nerds were gonna fucking rule the world, right? So, and then they don't, you know, they had Google and the internet, so like they don't have fucking common sense, right? You know, they don't fucking have common sense. It's like, you know, what is this? Like, okay, geometry. It's fucking simple shit, right? Angles, physics. They don't fucking have the common sense for that. They have to look it up on Google. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, okay, you guys can't think for yourselves. Everything is a trend. And it's like, that's where we get pissed off and the cynicism comes in and the mockery, because it's like, dude, you know,
I do like that Gen Z and I'm
talking about the millennials. The millennials fucking irritate me. Just so you know, I mean, call me an old fucking lady. You know, you say, I'm gonna grow up to be a fucking grouchy old man or a fucking grumpy old fucking lady going, fuck you fucking kids. That I'm already there. I'm fucking 52, but you know, millennials will talk to me and I'll be like little, I think I'm going through fucking like stroke or something, like, you know, and it's hard for me, you know. There's some positive things about the changes, I think, in the world of just, you know, but like, I feel like with that, there's this trade-off, that's this underlying hidden trade-off that's fucking sickening me with the cancer culture, and everybody's so fucking sensitive and everybody talks shit. And I'm like, dude, like, we're losing our humanity. You know, I feel that we're losing touch with our humanity sometimes.
I personally wish they would cancel every other comedian except me. So I'm a fan. Like, every time they cancel a comedian, we all move a step up. You know what I mean? So,
and as an artist, you know, okay, so I'll do kind of a cool sneak peek. My next album is, I've talked about Embrace the Darkness, as a really dark, fucked up anger aggro album, and I've never done an aggro album. You know, I've done the creepy, sinister shit, but I have never been pissed. And the things that I've went through the last couple of years, I'm fucking pissed. I'm basically been suppressing anger for about a good 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I was like, dude, I need to chill the fuck out. I'm older now. I need to be nice, like calm the fuck down. Why are you so angry? And you know, through therapy and all that. So, but then I went to the other extreme where I'm super fucking nice, right? But that's not good. Yet we're human. We need to be angry. We need to release our anger. So I have all this pinned up anger that's going into this next album, and I've never cussed in any of my lyrics. You know, if you notice that. And it was like, oh well, because we've got kid fans and all this shit, right? I'm like limiting myself, and it was like, no. But the princess of my kid pit, you know, her name's JJ. She's the princess of the kid pit of the Rejects, and she's 5. And she was pissed off. She was pissed off because we got, you know, dropped off the In This Moment tour. So she apparently tells her mom as soon as I announced it on Live Feed, I guess she was watching. So her mom gets in the car. They picked her up from work, and she says, yeah, little JJ turns to me and goes, Mama, them fucking assholes won't let fucking Raven sing for me. So I said, you know what? The princess of my fan club just gave me permission to say fuck an asshole and everything in my fucking lyrics on the next album. That's it. You know, because that's what I was worried about. And so then now, I mean, the first track on my new album, the 4th album coming up with the 3rd comic book, by the way, because this is the one that everyone's excited about, because Dr. and Stitches is no longer in the band. So what the fuck happens to him in the comic book story?
Right.
That's yet to be seen. So the soundtrack is Embrace the Darkness, and the first song is called Fuck You. So nice. I went straight to the point. I was like, there's not gonna be like, oh my God, she cussed in the middle of the song in track 6. You know, no, it's like right the first fucking track, you put that CD in, and the first thing is fuck you, and then it just fucking does. You know, like I already I'm just releasing it all. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be pretty proud of this one, because I've been too nice for far too long, and I've been fucked over so many times. So, you know, it's time for me to like show the cunt side of me, I guess.
Sure.
That said no more.
Listen, I love that the new album is like a full villain arc. That's like my favorite shit. Where like if we're talking comic books, you're going full villain on this one, which is
I'm
great.
Totally a villain on this one. It's no more nice Supergirl anymore. It's you know, I'm villainous. I'm fucking pissed, and I need to do it for myself. You know, I mean, like to unleash all this and purge it all. So I'm doing all in music.
It's therapy. That's what art should be. Art should be therapeutic to the artist, which I am 100% down for. And also I want to transition this, because your band, like if you look at the band, like, yeah, you do have kid fans, you have a kid fan club, you have a princess of a kid fan club, but you guys are also very clearly horror influenced. Like you guys have that look, and like, don't get me wrong, kid horror is a thing. Like, you know, there's been movies that are made for kids that are horror films that are fucking terrifying. Yeah. But what is, if you were to say one movie that was your favorite horror film, like what's your go-to if you want to sit down and watch a horror movie that you just love?
Well, my all-time favorite horror movie is Exorcist, from the very first one. And that's why. So there's like a deeper meaning to that. So I will watch that movie because I actually watched it in the theater in Hollywood when it premiered with my cousin and my brother. And my cousin was like, dude, this is some scary shit. You guys cover your eyes. And, you know, we had our jackets. And of course I was like, you know, I was like, and, you know, here's her fucking head turning. And she's like, fuck, you know, like, you're something about like cunning, something like that. Or like when she said like something about her fucking cunt. And my cousin was like, cover your eyes, cover your ears, you know? And my brother and I were like, dude, we're like both just like watching it. And that to me, and I probably was maybe 7, 8 years old at the time when it came out, somewhere in the 70s or 80s, late 70s. When did that come out? The Exorcist, the first one in theaters.
1974?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say 74, 75.
Yeah. Okay, so I was 5. So, you know, like the fact that I did that, it's a constant reminder for me that I fear nothing. You know what I mean? At age 5, that's probably the most like terrifying thing for a 5-year-old to probably see on screen. And I was like curious about it, and I was not afraid. And I was like, that's so fucking cool. You know, and that set the pace for the rest of my life, is that when it comes to demonic or possession or anything. And as I got older, my dad and I talked about this a lot. But my dad always claimed to have a sixth sense. And he would talk to child spirits and stuff like that. And, you know, growing up, I was like, you know, but then like I got into it as I got older, and I was reading about it, and I did all that shit. And my older brother has the same thing, and he talks to children, and he'll like fucking sit there and sob talking to a child spirit. And his wife, my sister-in-law, will call me and be like, dude, your brother's fucking freaking me out. He's fucking sitting here sobbing because he talked to a little girl in the closet. And I was like, she's like, you know me, I don't believe in that shit. Like, he's freaking me out. Like, can you talk to him? And I'm like, yeah. And I get those calls still to this day periodically. So my dad and my brother and I kind of felt like I kind of had it, but I've been in denial and pushing it away most of my life, because when I was fucking around with that shit in my teenage years, I scared my fucking self to death doing an astral travel thing and something on the Ouija board and then the Book of Seth. So I kind of freaked myself out because it got a little too real.
Mhm.
So I said, you know what, I'm not such a fuck with this shit. I'm done. I'm not fucking with this shit anymore. It's not going to be fucked with. I don't want to fucking die. You know, I was like freaking out. So I learned everything to block any communication. So that was the tangent I went on, is I'm going to fucking block myself from all of this. You know, I'm never going to touch on that. And most recently, you know, my dad passed away last November. And he and I were like, talk about my bestest friend in the universe is my dad. And so, you know, something has come over me in the last year since his death. And I opened up for the first time in how many years? You know, 30, 40 fucking years. And a lot of shit went down. And I had to like do some banishing and a lot of shit that's happened in my home. And I don't talk about it because people are like, I don't believe that stuff, but come over to my fucking house during that time. I might make you a fucking believer. So, but, you know, so I had to get back into reading them, all that stuff. And, you know, I've cleared it all, you know, I've cleared it. I feel better, but it was fucked up. It was fucked up. And, but yeah, so talking about horror movies, like anything to do with possession, demonic, slasher. I love horror so much. I've loved horror since I was fucking first thing I watched on TV, you know, whatever. So
For sure.
the monster, I mean, I was fucking all about that show, you know. So Addams Family, all of that. I mean, I think back and I go, shit, I've loved horror since I was a freaking kid. You know what?
Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah, even that. Yes, like all of it. So I'm like, you know what? You know, it's just part of me. It's part of who I am, and I don't know why, but I love it. And then these kids now today, you know, they're not dressing up as fucking Princess Jasmine anymore. They're fucking dressing up as the horror characters now. You know,
Absolutely.
You go to Walmart in the costume section, there's a lot more horror costumes than princess ones. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
And they're
You
also
know,
very well done. Like, they're actually legitimately like creepy, scary costumes too.
Yeah, for kids.
Yeah.
We have the
wild.
paper plastic ones, you know, with the little rubber band.
Yeah. Well, so this is something I wanted to tell you. It's funny because you bring up The Exorcist. I've famously been the hot take on The Exorcist in the sense that I love The Exorcist, but I think The Exorcist 3 is actually scarier than the original Exorcist.
Well, there's a lot more CGI nowadays too, and stuff too, right?
Right. Well, the thing with Exorcist 3 is that you have like this movie that's almost like a police procedural mixed with a possession thing. So all the scariness from Exorcist 3 comes from just the performance of the actor.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the camera tricks from the first one. Because the first one, the original, is legendary and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
But to me, the humanity of the third one is scarier. The second one should not ever exist, but the third one,
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I was disappointed with the second one, but yeah, so like that's my ultimate favorite. But like you know, you guys were talking about subgenres. Like I still love like Saw. I love Saw.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that too.
I love that.
You're a torture
fucking,
porn fan, huh?
well, every fucking, but I love the writing. I love that everything's connected from one to the other, and you're like, oh fuck, you know, those fuck moments are like my favorite. Those like those little Easter eggs, you know, like it's like fuck. So I love that, and my comic books are like that. You know, I put little Easter eggs, and I write that way, and I appreciate that on a level of writing. You know what I mean? But things like that, you know, and then the sick, twisted, shameful thing that everybody, you know, I think people have said it, but like I like any werewolf vampire movie also, you know, anything to do with that. Frankenstein, any remake of it, any tangent off of it, any spin-off, I'm all about it. You know, I'm just love horror. I just watched Orphan 2 yesterday, and it's so fucked up.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's so
It's
fucked
so
up, but
good.
I love it. I love that I didn't expect that, and I fucking love it. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but fuck yeah, you know, like
Yeah,
so.
I like
that-
the first one. I need to watch the second one. I've
Oh,
heard
it's
pretty
it's more
crazy.
fucked up than the first one. It's awesome. You know,
This is what I told people about Orphan 2 without spoiling anything, is sit through the first 20 minutes because it seems like it's going to be a really terrible movie on purpose.
yeah,
And then at that like 25-minute mark, it's like, oh shit, now we're on. Like, and
Right.
it's,
Right.
it's so
I agree with
fun.
that.
It's so
I agree
fun.
with that.
Sweet.
But what a fucking pleasant surprise, you know,
Sure.
because I was expecting that it was going to be a repeat, just a different fucking, you know, place, different family, another fucking family goes down, you know, she gets more clever or some shit. But
And
yeah,
it wasn't that at all. Yeah.
nope. He's like, I gotta
everybody-
watch
dude.
it.
Dude, seriously, like I'm not gonna. That's why I don't want to spoil it, because it's like it's
Okay.
so cool. So everybody that hasn't seen it, like watch it as soon as you can. It's way worth watching.
Yeah. But see, so now this is going to be blasphemy. All right. I'm about to throw some blasphemy out here. Right?
Mhm.
We love blasphemy.
Mhm.
We love
Okay.
hot takes.
Okay. So this is going to piss a lot of people off, but I don't care because it's my fucking opinion, right? This is my opinion. So like, I love the Halloween, Jason, like all of those. I love it, you know, but I don't get scared. What takes away from me getting scared with those kind of movies, like the kind of slasher stuff, is, you know, the stupid girl that falls and can't fucking run down the fucking, you know, in the forest or some shit. So those things take away from me, and they put it on every single one. But a guy chasing me with a fucking knife or a fucking machete or a fucking chainsaw, that doesn't scare me. Does that understand? That doesn't tick in me. Now, when your brother or sister or your friend is fucking possessed and they're getting dragged across the fucking house, that makes my heart skip a little
Yeah.
bit, you know, because you can't fucking fuck with that. You can't do anything.
I think personally, because I am a child of an immigrant as well. I think people with old world upbringings fear that, like my mother's Eastern European,
Yeah.
and her whole family's, and like they straight up believe in curses. And you know, I mean, like, and even if I don't believe that stuff, it was written into me as a young, like, my mother's a
I agree with you.
and an American, but like I just think that old people who have connection to old world,
Yeah.
really like that stuff, like really has like rings just just a little bit more true, just because like I mean, like I was like my mother is like for the word is but I can say it because it's my mother. She's a gypsy, you know. She's like a Romani, like her family, like, you know, like they straight up believe in shit. And
Yeah, my mom
and
too.
yeah, and like I was saying, like, you know, like you're raised with that, and it's just like, you know, that there's hauntings and there's this and there's spirit and other stuff. It's like, and like I've never really been like I'm a heavy skeptic, but like I believe it in the sense that they believe it, and like and I can and I see the gravity of it, you know, and
Yeah.
it's so I think that that's I think that when I watch like a possession movie or a cursed movie or like something like even like Drag Me to Hell, like
Mhm.
it just connects to me on a very personal.
Yeah, like Hellraiser, another franchise I
Exactly.
fucking love.
Yep.
Shit like that, you're opening a Pandora's box or some shit, and some shit old world shit happens,
Right.
and you fucking open the fucking door, you know, like, and you're
Yep.
fucking in this. I believe that is a possibility
Sure.
because of my upbringing, because of my cultural background, blah
Yep.
blah blah. But like, and I'm talking about any even newer movies, you know, where some dude is fucking psychopathic and fucking just fucking is just a serial killer, you know, and he's running after you. Like, I will try to my best to fuck that guy fucking up, you know, like, but that's, I'm not going to be running and fucking tripping in my house. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be hiding in my closet, breathing too heavy. I'm going to fucking fight. So that, I think but it's also my upbringing, you know, it's also my upbringing from my dad. So yeah, it's one of those things where those kinds of movies just don't scare me. They're entertaining. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say I love those kind of movies, the Final Girl stuff, like, and especially the ones that do stand up, like in You're Next, and Ready or Not. You know, those Final Girls fight back, and it's that's sort of
they
like what
fuck
I
them
love.
up, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I would fight. You know, the whole gun shaking, like, I don't believe in that because I just don't. I mean, shit.
And it's not that much fun to watch, honestly. It's way more fun to pit evil against us, you know, something that can handle it. So, and you love the underdog story too. So
yeah.
My mom hung out with Alice Cooper, so that's why I really like practical effects and rubber body parts. So that's
and of course,
that's what I was raised
Rob
on.
Zombie, anything Rob Zombie. I mean, fucking, you know, House of a Thousand Corpses, like all of that. And it's, you know, I still love all of that stuff. So, but then you go back to like Disney, Nightmare Before Christmas, anything Tim Burton, that's creepy. It's not scary, but
Tim
it's
Burton fan.
Yeah, it's not scary, but I love the cleverness of bringing that to life. You know,
that Wednesday show looks super fun too.
What's That's Wednesday? I haven't heard of that.
Wednesday.
Oh no,
it's the Wednesday Addams.
Yeah.
Oh, I did see that. But when does that come out? I forget.
Soon, in October, right?
Very soon.
Yeah. I'll probably watch that. But like even this TV miniseries, House on Blythe Manor, House Haunting of Blythe Manor, I loved those movies.
Yeah, I love those.
Those are great.
They had such great storylines, and you know, the acting was great, and it wasn't, you know, like I binge watch things like that all the fucking time. You know,
those are not the type of stories and stuff that I generally am drawn to, and I'm actually not even that big of a fan of that director's movies, but both those shows are fucking stupendous.
Yeah, they were really good. Yeah.
You're not a fan of Mike Flanagan's movies? Did you just say that?
Not huge. Not like I am of his TV shows at all.
Did you see Dr. Sleep?
I did. I liked it a lot. I liked it more than The Shining. You know that.
Oh, of course, in The Shining.
Oh boy.
Listen, we just you know what, guys? We just broke up the podcast. No.
I feel like he knows all this and surprised.
He does. This is what he's trying to do. He's trying to plant seeds. He's getting sound bites. I know what you're doing, Ryan.
I'm collecting. So
I'm going to say this. Honestly, Raven, by everything that you've said, I think you're going to be a really fun Sinister Six run. So do you guys want to do that? You guys want to do Sinister Six on this one?
Let's do it.
All right, Raven, get ready. 6 opinions.
Number 1, Freddy or Jason?
Freddy.
All right. What's the difference between thriller and horror?
Horror gives you nightmares. Thriller gets you your heart beating.
Like it.
Oh, that's a great.
I like that answer a lot.
That's a great answer. Yeah.
What horror movie influenced your taste the most?
Annabelle.
Oh,
Anything of that.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
Anything of that franchise, The Nun, Annabelle, fucking Con,
Sure.
like all.
totally. Love it.
If you could erase one movie from existence, what would it be?
A Weekend at Bernie's. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, I like the idea of the carting around a corpse all weekend, but that's just me. You know
I
what I mean?
do,
I just
yeah.
I think it
And
would be a
there's
memorable.
voodoo and stuff involved.
I'm sorry it's not a horror movie, but come on.
No, it's good.
that's
No,
fine.
it doesn't have
to be horror.
No, it doesn't have to be.
But
horror.
that fucking movie's been mentioned how many fucking times in the last fucking 4 decades or whatever, and it's just a stupid movie.
Also, how is
I'll
there
never
not?
get down with that. I'll never get down with Weekend at Bernie's.
How is there not? How is there not a horror reboot of that movie already? How is there not? There
Well,
needs to be.
Swiss
There should
Army
be.
Man.
That's so
Not
much
really
better of a
horror,
movie. So much
But,
better.
yeah, it is. But it's very similar. So that's, I guess, the modern reboot. Okay, next one. I think I know the answer. Are ghosts real?
Yes.
And last one. Midsummer or Hereditary?
Ooh, I don't know which. You got to explain those two for me.
So they're both Ari Aster movies. Hereditary was Toni Collette, and it was very dark and creepy. And Midsummer was a bunch of kids go to Sweden, and it's light out the entire movie.
No, I have not seen either one of those. I think I've seen the Toni
no problem.
Collette one because I'm a fan of her, but I don't remember the titles. You guys
You
tell me a
should-
little
you
bit
have-
more about Hereditary.
You should see Hereditary. Like a head gets shot, like a kid, or like a.
No, don't give that part away. If you haven't seen Hereditary, Raven, you need to see it first off immediately. And
But
also,
I
think
might have because I'm a Toni Collette fan. I just don't remember the title of the
So
movie.
there's a lot of grief involved. It's very dark. There's a lot of crying and screaming and yelling at her son.
There's a daughter in the movie that has probably the worst allergic reaction ever.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
I
a
have
good.
not seen it. I have not seen it then. So I will watch
Yeah.
it immediately.
Yeah,
No, you're
I
gonna
would
love,
highly
you're going to
recommend-
love
I
that movie.
cannot answer that
Midsummer, too.
question.
No problem.
It's
That's
okay.
Not a problem. You
Okay.
crush the other ones.
Yeah, we'll
so.
give you we'll give you homework, and when you come back on the show, you can for the.
All
so-
right. All right.
All right.
Exactly.
Hey Graham, you got any recommendations this week?
I do. Shit. So first one, the Black Phone. I loved it. I don't
Oh
really
my
know
God. So good.
who directed it or what they've done before, but I'm pretty sure it was written by Stephen King's son. And it
loved
had
it.
the best climax, like to the second in a movie I've seen in a long time. Like I had chills just thinking about it for like an hour afterwards. Really fucking perfectly done climax and just great. And Ethan Hawke, really good. Also, my musically, Pussy Riot put out a mixtape called Matriarchy Now, and it's just a bunch of like, all right, so you guys know who Pussy Riot is, right? The
Of course.
Russian punk band who was
Yep.
activists. Have you heard a lot of their music since that, like 10 years ago?
I have heard some. I hear it periodically, but I would like to hear it because it's kind of a collective, right? It isn't just like
Right, sort of, but it's also mostly this one woman now, Nadia, and this is a mixtape. There's like Big Freedia is on it, a few other people, but it's just a feminist fuck banger. Like it's just club anthems of like anti-men. Like I almost didn't listen because it's a little almost too on the nose. The cover is a knife going through an eggplant and stuff, and it's called Matriarchy Now and stuff. And I was like, I get it. Like I'm a big supporter of Pussy Riot, but I listened to it on the walk home last night, and it's just fucking banging. I loved it. I danced like the whole way home. So check that out too.
I'll check
All
it
right.
out.
I'll go into mine. I have a musically. My recommendation is the new Machine Head album of Kingdom and Crown. It's so good. If you're a Machine Head fan, it's awesome in general. But it's like their old school sound, but it's on a concept album, and it's like the best that Rob Flynn has sounded in years, and also just the band in general. they're so cohesive in this album. Because like their last album, people were kind of like and then like Catharsis was kind of like the album where people were like really starting to think they were dropping off. But this album they're back to full old school form. So super, super good. And for movies, I'm going to recommend Emily the Criminal, which is the new Aubrey Plaza movie. It's not technically a horror film. It's kind of like a psychological horror film almost. But it's a little also on the thriller side of it. So it's kind of one of those ones that dances the line of it. But she does fantastic. And it's one of the best serious roles that I think she's ever done. And I'm already kind of crushing on Aubrey Plaza, so this movie kind of like just pushed it into a little bit more. So I'm digging that.
Cool.
But yeah, that's my recommendations.
Cool. My recommendations are going to be they're probably things that have already been recommended. I think Jonas recommended some of them. I'm going to recommend Glorious. It's pretty good. It's not as good as I wanted.
So
it to
fun.
Be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
it's super fun. It's super fun,
I
but
loved it.
It's on Shudder. I also what Josiah saw, and I think we have to give a credit to Robert Patrick. I think like we need to call him. Wait, it's Robert Patrick, right?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Because he like everybody's introduction to him was in the blockbuster of all blockbusters.
Terminator 2, baby.
In my life, Batman and Terminator 2 were the biggest blockbusters of the year. I mean, and that's like living through like Return of the Jedi and like shit like that, and like the Indiana Jones movies. Like Batman was so huge, and then Terminator 2, I can remember being a teenager and like they said that Terminator, I saw a trailer for it and it wasn't coming out for like 3 months, and I didn't know if I could physically wait 3 months.
The synergy of Guns N' Roses releasing their double album and T2 coming out at the same time with You Could Be Mine video
right
before the movie came out with clips like a trailer was fucking unreal.
It was just gorgeous. And so I'm just so I'm just a big Robert Patrick fan though, because like he was fantastic in that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like he has done a ton of great shit afterwards. And he is so perfect at being like the dick. He is in he's in what's the John Cena superhero deal?
Peacemaker. He was the White Dragon.
Yeah, it was the White Dragon. He was perfect. Good. He was perfect in that. I just watched another horror movie with him. I can't remember where it's like he's another like kind of like he's like a cop, and like their people are like vanishing into the forest or into the cornfield or something. And then he's also in and he's also in What Josiah Saw, and he's just fantastic. So he could have. I really have a lot of respect for like, and you know what? And I think that the X-Files season with him on it was underrated. Like I think everybody just couldn't get like the people left the show and they were like, well, what can we do? And they put him in as an FBI agent, and like he was like a perfect dickhead sort of like classic law enforcement cop. You know what I mean? Like that's what he's good at, that being that guy. And What Josiah Saw is not a happy movie. But
I've called it an absolutely gutting, brutal masterpiece.
Yeah,
like, it is so good, but it hurts.
But it's
like
very,
it hurts to see it.
It's very, very good. And so I'm a big fan of Robert Patrick, and go turn it out. And then I'm gonna I think I've recommended this before. I'm going to recommend it again, music-wise. Coast Contra is continuously putting out some of the best hip hop going on right now, and like I just can't get enough of it, and like I just keep landing back on it. Like it's just like one of those things that's like. And it's also nice to see like a new direction in West Coast hip hop that isn't just continuously like beating the G Unit sound to death. And like to the point where like the Game took a shot at Eminem because he realizes like his music, his style is up. You know what I mean? And so I think while I'm not a huge fan of Kendrick's records, I love his live stuff. His live stuff is some of the best stuff ever done. But I will say Kendrick Lamar has been very good for West Coast hip hop, as and I think that he brought a seriousness and a new age to it and it gives them an opportunity. And I think you see a lot of that in Coast Contra and what they're doing, because I mean, and yes, I'm biased as an East Coast hip hop fan, but I do like to see like the more serious and it's also the ability to throw back to more like 90s hip hop, I think is a great we're living in a great era for hip hop, because there's a lot of very, very talented people coming out right now. And I think we saw like a lull there for a while, and then now we're seeing it kind of bang again. So Coast Contra, please go check them out. That last verse on the Never Freestyle, what's his name's verse is like the best verse I've heard in a decade. So Raven, what do you got for us?
Okay. Wow. So movie, I'm gonna recommend this because I'm selfish about it. It's a new up and coming director. His name is Nicholas Onetti, and he is a big fan of Raven Black, so I want to give him a shout out. But he released a movie called 100 Candles Game. Has anyone seen that?
No, I haven't.
It's definitely, you know, he's from Europe, so he's new and up and coming, but this is what he does. He's gonna do only horror films. And 100 Candles Game, considering that, you know, on a lower budget, what they've done, and of course our music is in it. And I thought it was only going to be in the credits, so you're just gonna have to watch the movie and see where you recognize a Raven Black song in the middle of the movie somewhere. But it was really well, you know, written. The actors, I'd say two of the actors, you know, low budget movie, right? Over exaggerated, right, acting, but the rest of it was good, was really good. So check it out. I think he's going to come out with some really great stuff in the future, and this is why I want to plug him. But yeah, 100 Candles Game. And,
yeah, this looks pretty cool. It's got Amy Smart in it too.
Yeah, so there was some good acting, and then there's like two characters in it that was like over exaggerated acting, but it is what it is with the budget that they probably worked with. But if you look at what his future will look like, I think it's pretty promising as a director. So
Cool.
I'm wishing him really a lot of success in him developing his movies. So that's one. And then musically, I would have to say you've got to check out. Have you guys have heard of Gabriel and the Apocalypse? Gata, Lindy Gabriel.
I have not, but I'll check it out.
So she's a DIY band, and I always plug DIY bands because, you know, I live in that world.
Sure.
But you know, oh, and of course, you know, Slipknot's new song Yen. I am in love with that right now. It just came out like I think 2 days ago, but I'm a huge Slipknot fan, so that's one. But as far as DIY, there is Lindy Gabriel. Just, you know, she went through this whole last year post COVID, you know, with her band completely changing lineups, and it was just her and her husband, and you know, she kind of went through the same struggle I went through. But man, she just released a new song yesterday that I just fell in love with it, and it's called Blunt Force Drama.
Okay.
And industrial, it has an industrial feel to it, but it's got a good hook, but the music video is pretty awesome, and they just released it yesterday, and I want to give her some love because I knew what she went through to get back on track and to release her new song and her new music video. Man, you know, fucking power to her, because, you know, she did it. You know, she fucking did it, and I'm proud of her, and she's a friend of mine, so I'm plugging that.
Awesome.
Gabriel and
Oh
the
yeah.
DIY song is Blunt Force Drama.
Awesome. Where can we find your stuff?
My stuff is everywhere, but mainly Spotify is what I usually push.
Cool.
And but yeah, The Key, we've got 3 albums on there. It is pretty much, if you want to stick to some kind of genre, we are carnival metal. You've got a little bit of everything in there because of all my influences. So you were right. Again, there's some thrash in there. There's some you know, more deathcore. There's some black metal screams. Then you've got a little bit of the pop punk. You've got a little bit of hip hop beats on some songs because of my hip hop influence. So you can bounce to it. But it is fun. It's macabre. It's weird and wild. And the key probably was the first step into me kind of really just bringing out more of my fun, crazy style that I do. This next couple of albums, Raven White is about to come out. Did you guys know about my new ballad album?
No.
You heard about it?
Oh,
No.
So at the end of the comic book, you know, the last part of my second comic book issue was where, holy shit, I forgot we had just escaped hell, and we got to this magic castle, and we were received by a king and queen and all of her guards and everybody, and everything seemed like we were okay. And we'll have to find out what happens in the next comic issue. But at that moment, I realized I left my diary in hell, the diary that I carried with me throughout the entire story that I used to write in, and I lost it in hell as we were escaping. So I end up running. The last page of the comic book is me running back to hell by myself to go look for my diary. So this album I'm about to release in November, it's on pre-order now, is an entirely different side of me, more raw, more emotional, and it's everything from my dad's passing to my band breaking up last September and COVID and everything that I've dealt with this year, with all the darkness I've experienced all year, almost actually quitting music. So,
wow.
You know, so this album is called the White Album, Raven White. So it's the polar opposite of Raven Black. But it's me singing. There's some rock songs, there's some ballads, there's some piano, there's a lot of crazy stuff that no one's ever heard me do. And it's
That's
a tribute
super rad.
It's a tribute album to my dad. So yeah, so it's some completely eclectic different side of me that I'm just putting out there as my healing process this past year. And so it's coming out in November. It's called the White Album. And then that is the calm before the storm when we release the 4th next year, which is Embrace the Darkness. So the contrast, you won't appreciate the contrast of Embrace the Darkness unless you listen to the White Album.
Love it.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an excellent time. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to hearing more from you. And we'll keep up and come back on to the show when things come out, and we can continue to do this together. So thank you so much, Raven, for
Thank
what
you
you
for
do.
having me. This was so fun. I mean, I love horror, so you know, it's nice to be a part of something that's like different from just the typical music podcasts that I usually participate in. But yeah,
Well,
these are fun. I like talking about horror movies.
So sweet. And thanks everybody for tuning in. You know, everybody's all the countries have really stayed in their place, and I'm looking for a country who wants to stand up. You know what I mean? Like, because right now, I mean, the United States is in first place. You know, that which would make sense, but UK has really held that second position amazingly. And I gotta say, you know, I want New Zealand or Australia or Germany or Sweden or Mexico to just come and take it over. Okay. You know, I'm just saying nothing against the UK, but like, I would love for you all to like move into that. So if you want your country shouted out as like a thing, you gotta get it. You gotta get your people
on social.
Just post this on social and just say, hey, if you like horror and you like people who make amazingly witty jokes and you don't, you know what I mean, and like are, you know, cool and hip and have their finger on the pulse.
6 carefully crafted questions.
Carefully crafted journalism. Tell people about it because we need it. And also we have a Patreon, which is at Patreon, which is AGHP 666 AGHP, which is another goddamn horror podcast 666, because you know I worship a demon that is going to eat the world. I don't really, but I would like to. I'm just not that cool.
Become a member of the Army of the Goddamn.
Become a member of the Army of the Goddamned, because we have them. What are their names, Graham?
We got Drew Muldowney and Stephanie Gurley, Ron Knobloch, Jake Jolly, Alan Graham, Ashley Ketchum, Chris Fortune, Jason Daniels, and Kristen Pearl.
And those people will sit next to me. I will defend those people to their death. You know what I mean? I will stand in front of them as bullets fly, because that's how much I believe in Army of Goddamned. So please, if you want that sort of protection and love from me, go join our Patreon, because as much as we love to do this for free, it would also be great to make it's capitalism. What
We all have to face it.
We have to do it, So, but anyways, thanks for everybody for tuning in, and we really do appreciate you all. And if any of you are struggling, please reach out to us on social media. We all do this shit together, and we all got to take care of each other. So please make it home safely. And in the meantime, why don't you start some fires and break some glass? Thank you.